And here we have the fourth match in BlackBerry versus Cerner After Hours Gaming League Week 3. It's just starting now. And we have, in the top left-hand corner, the red Zerg playing for Team Cerner with the quick, lightning-fast manner. It is Critch. And his opponent in the opposite corner, compensating for slow manner with just overwhelming amounts of manner, we have, playing for Team BlackBerry, the blue Zerg, AceAl. And yes, this is me. This is why I have to recast this instead of just doing the live stream and packaging that up. Because while that was being streamed, my commentary was not as insightful during the game at that point. It was mostly stuff like, crap, build more lings! And while you'll get some of that feeling in the game from this perspective, it's still nice to be able to see both sides. To be able to take the time to think about it and realize that, yes, you need more lings here or you're going to die. We may or may not see some of those moments in this game. It is a Zerg versus Zerg, one of the classic mirror matchups, and my favorite because it's usually the fastest. Mirror matchups can be very interesting and exciting as you can turn... It's the easiest match in which you turn a slight advantage into a gradual win. But when that gradual win takes an hour, and you've seen it coming from the observer position, it can be tough. ZVZ, gradual win will take 5 seconds. Actually, no. Zergling spawn time, plus 5 seconds to cross the map. And there you go. But on top of this being a mirror matchup that should be really close in terms of build orders, we're also expecting to be really close in terms of skill. The After Hours Gaming League, being a for-fun league, has no skill ceiling or floor. And a lot of teams have a random potpourri of diamonds and bronze. Getting the right players matched up has been tough, but in the pre-game loading screen, the borders here were perfect. Both players in Platinum. This should be one close game. Now let's see now the starting build orders. We have 14 gas, 14 pool over here versus a 14 pool, 16 hatch. Should go slightly in Critch's favor. He got the pool easily fast enough to be able to defend against anything. This is, with good micro, the speed, the extra fast speed, that does nothing. And then we'll have a nice economic advantage for the faster expansion. So things are looking good for Critch. Defensive Zerglings hasn't really seen much except for the lack of expansion, and let's be honest, that's enough. So he knows something's coming. Overlord even sees the Zerglings. And yeah, Critch should be able to hold this nicely. He's getting his own gas. Let's see what happens. Will this be the end of the game? Who knows? But the Zerglings get in here, they get to the hatchery right as it spawns, and you know that's already too late because even if you had a faster spawning pool for the opponent should be up by now or getting close. And that extra hatchery, the extra larva there, that makes it really easy for the defending player to win the Zergling battles. More larva, more Zerglings. Usually, if you've got the fast pool, you sacrifice drones, so you don't have the mineral income to produce that many Zerglings. And so, yeah, this should be fine. Speed shown. Critch doing a good job so far, not letting him get up the ramp. Here comes some reinforcements, and there we go. They're trapped. I don't know if it's a round really helped Zergling versus Zergling, but well done by AceAl. We've got the Zerglings can't retreat. Slaughter them all. At what cost? There's 2 speedlings left. Make that 1 speedling left. But he dealt that psychological blow that you need to survive in the cutthroat ZVZ. And here we go. There's more Zerglings for Critch, and he should be fine now. Baneling Nest almost finished. So once he's got Banelings, the Zergling aggression will be done. Pointless. But maybe he'll get something done in time. That hatchery is falling quickly, and Critch not going to try and save it. He's just waiting for Banelings. He might think of some sort of all-in. Maybe pressuring a bit. No. Decides to pull back, and that hatchery's going down. But he's got the Banelings. Zergling aggression should be over now. Should be. Come on. Don't die. There he goes. The Banelings can clean them all up, but no. Banelings staying back. Zerglings target firing the Queen. Hit the queen and got out. Wow, now that is going to be some larva advantage for AceAl. And look at this. They've got all the Zerglings and Banelings he needs to repel any further assaults, but he's already lost his hatchery. He's already lost a queen. It's not just the cost of having to rebuild them at this stage. He's got like 13 drones to 24. He needs to catch up in drone count. And is AceAl going to continue applying Zergling pressure? Looks like not. Getting just more queens. Starting to get his wall up. Roach Warren. Zergling pressure is over. Oh, if only Critch knew. If only Critch knew. Interesting choice not trying to take his expansion just yet. Maybe he doesn't feel safe against the opposing Zerglings. You know, a better Overlord scouting can always help with that. Creep spread hasn't got very far. You could have Overlords here. You could have Overlords here spawning the Zerglings. And there just aren't that many. They are passing through the vision again to intimidate. Strike fear into your opponent. Speed for Critch is quite slow. Maybe that's caused a delay. And finally, he's getting his natural again. That's good. That's a very good start. Not so great on the drone count, but wow, AceAl twice the drones and just turtling up here. Got a wall with a spine crawler. Don't normally see Zerg's wall, but this is a nice improvement from AceAl with his decent-ish building placement here. Those of you watching all of BlackBerry game will remember that he lost last week because of terrible building placement that gave his opponent a wall. So, we're learning. And yeah, there we go. That just all drones all the time. 42 to 18. Well, Critch surely has fear in his eyes. There we go, building more roaches instead of drones. And he could make this work. If he takes the roaches, banelings, bust down that wall, rush in. AceAl's got nothing. So yeah, but those speedlings will at least catch wind of it. We'll see. Zerg versus Zerg, there is the interesting detail, kind of like PvP, how if you can just warp in at your opponent's base, they can warp in at their base, and the reinforcements are about the same size. But with Zerg, again, you have one wave of roaches, they didn't build a wave of roaches, and you don't have that attacker, you still have that defender advantage that PvP loses, because the defender's roaches will be there, usually, the second wave will be faster, because right at the base. And there's a bit sloggy by AceAl, Overlord's probably going to get picked off. Ooh, might be the wrong angle there. That's going to be nice, gives Critch a bit of a pick off, and he's going out, starting to do some scouting again, not quite enough of a force to see that that's all AceAl has. And yeah, he's just holding still. Might have thought he was up against some sort of 8 pool or 10 pool with fast gas. And if it was a 10 pool, then he might be okay, but no. No, you need to scout. Rare to see in Zerg vs. Zerg, but you can always just sacrifice an Overlord, throw that into the opponent's base, see what they've got. In this case, it will be Spire, a lot of roaches, 2 saturated bases, and a 3rd on the way. Critch still no drones at his own base. Natural expansion. But that is a good defense. How long will it last, though? So we can see that he's still producing, a trickle of units. Plus drones. Not bad. Drone count has now moved so that he's within 50% of his opponent. And getting the lair. He should have all the tools he needs. Once he has a lair, it's a lot easier to get some anti-air up with the quick building speed of the high dose den. Macro hatch going here. I mean, the mind games from AceAl, that early aggression with the 14 gas, 14 pool, and then all macro. All macro and scouting for ninja expansions after that. Might have thrown Critch off guard. It's like the evil twin started the game, but the good twin finished it. How are you supposed to prepare for that? And that's actually not that many mutas. We've got 3 mutas moving out already. And that's probably just a fake. If you're going to actually go seriously onto mutas, then you want more than 3 before you reveal them and tip your hand. But there we go. He's tipped his hand. He's gotten an Overlord for it. And what's he getting out of that fake 3 muta attack? Hydra Den. 2 Spore Crawlers. And it might... Ooh. More than 2 Spore Crawlers. There's already 1 up there. Another 2 starting. Those 3 Mutalisks, if he's going to go mutas, he needs to keep them alive. Not doing a great job there. But 5 spore crawlers in a Hydralisk den, that does cost more than 3 mutas. I'm sorry. So yeah, if that was a diversionary fake, it worked great. Looks like it is. We're seeing only roaches in production. We've got 1/1 speed roaches, just in massive numbers, 24 to 11 so far. And Critch building hydras. You know, it's just one fear after another here. Another spore. Ouch. And an overseer. Not sure what for. Probably just in case of some other cheese, because those burrowed roaches popping up in your mineral line is one of the worst feelings ever. Oh. Especially with Zerg, when you're thinking, why didn't I think of that? I could have burrowed roaches too. And here we go, up the ramp. It's stuff versus more stuff. Who wins? 1/1 roaches, 0, no upgrades for Critch. Just charging right up the ramp. Intimidation victory. And AceAl wins it for Team BlackBerry. That makes it 3-1 in this best of 5. And that's the end of the match. Unless you like fun, in which case join us for the, quote, ace match, unquote, coming right up.